Alright, so have you guys ever been too scared to do something or but didn't end up doing it because fear got on the way? So I'm going to talk about why fear shouldn't stop you from doing something that you've been wanting to do for a very long time. So think about a time and place that you were too scared to do something. So our minds goes towards negative things, and that's usually what stops us from doing the thing that we want to do. Like, what if it doesn't work, or what if I mess up again? So fear is a survival mechanism in our nature. It helps us to increase blood and oxygen to flow to our muscles so we could run faster, and it delights our pupils so we can better see things around us. So some people are fear of changes, fear of judgment, or fear of loss. Everyone is scared of something. So for me, I used to be scared of heights since I was a little kid. Cause when I first started being scared of heights was during 6 years old. I started climbing a tree. I was a little bit chubby, not gonna lie. I tried to try to hang onto a branch. I guess I was too heavy, and the branch just snapped, and that's when I fell all the way to the ground. I was like 6 feet, not that high, but I guess my leg went like twisted all the way back, so it was like fractured and broke at the same time. And ever since then, I never really tried to climb anything high. But a couple of days later on, my friends, well, when I was like 15 years old, a couple of days later on from that, my friends invited me to go rock climbing. And I didn't want to tell them like, hey, I'm scared of heights, like, I can't do this. So I told them I'm like, yeah, we'll meet up wherever you want. We'll go rock climbing. Like, I don't mind, I'll do it. So my personal experience was, when my two of my good friends invited me to go rock climbing. The very next day when I got home, all I could think of was all these negative thoughts. What if I fall? What if I slip? Or what if someone ends up dying? Like, I don't want that to happen to me. Um, so that day I kind of prepared myself to be like motivated, wanting to go, not to like chicken out, I guess. And the next day I did my routine. I ate. I tried to shower, but usually my mind was just off. Like think about all these negative thoughts. And a couple minutes later, I started driving where we're supposed to meet up, and we met up at the place where me and my friends were supposed to be. We were excited at first, but some of us were scared, but we didn't want to say anything. We didn't want to chicken out. So there was a guy with us. He was a guy. His name was Mike. He was gonna show us like the safety rules and what if something happens. What if you slip? We had ropes tied up with ours, so if one falls, the people above will catch you. It's usually for the support. So we start climbing little by little. I end up slipping. So one of the rocks, I guess, like I tried to put my weight and it just slipped. And literally, I thought I was gonna die. I blacked out for I guess a minute from what they told me. But all I could think of, like, I fell asleep and woke up right away. And so we go climbing little by little. Like the top, it wasn't that super high, but we were almost there. And what's it called? Once you got to the top, my friends and the person Mike, we walked towards the edge of the hill or mountain, I would say, and all I could see was the ocean and the city lights. And I realized that it's the most like beautiful thing I ever seen in my whole life, cause like I actually did it, and I surpassed my fear, I guess, cause I said I was never gonna climb anything high, cause I was never too scared of it. So in my conclusion, my lesson was that God has placed the best things in life in the other side of the door. On the other side of your maximum fear are all the best things in life. Thank you.
All right, well, you've got a rhetorical question that you use as the starting point. It seems to me like your story about the rock climbing could be the attention device. Tell that story and how it paid off for you, and then you need to develop a content here. Basically, what you've got is a story that you have created a theme for, and it sounds like it might work for an impromptu presentation, but it doesn't work very well for the kind of speech that we're doing here. There's no research content. There's no generalization that's able to be made. I don't know what people are likely to see as being a fear. You've got a good personal story, but that's as far as it goes. I don't know if fear is keeping people from doing things, except hypothetically, and you've only got the one example that you talk about, so that's a little bit problematic. There was some information earlier about the value of these kinds of fears because they, like you said, they kind of increase your adrenaline. When you say they delight the pupil, no, that makes it sound like we're really happy to see it. They dilate the pupil. I assume that that's really what your word is there. So it was a little funny when you said that. I go, oh, well, that makes it sound like it's something that we want to see. Our pupils will be delighted as we were watching this. But the idea that there is a physical reaction to fear, and that's one of the things that affects us in some way, I think that's a good thing. Here's the easy attention device that you can use. Maybe you could keep the story that you've got here as the one of the main points in your presentation. Talk about speech anxiety as your attention device, because that's something that people fear, and we talked about it in class. And then transition to this topic, and then you've got to find some other supporting material here, because there are a lot of things that people don't try or they hold themselves back on, and you've got one personal example, which is not a bad thing to do to get us engaged with, but that's all you've got, and so it really feels a lot thinner than it should. All right, thank you.